Hello and welcome to the final episode in Season 2 of Adventure Bike TV, and as always we're going to start with a bike review, and we're going to be revisiting a bike that we tested last year, and it was a bike for which my cup did not exactly overrun with love.
Previously on the bike review.
I've been riding in the Explorer for almost a day and a half now, and the feeling I had at the start is still there. I just don't know quite where it fits. If I wanted a bike that was capable of doing more off-road, I'd take a GS or I'd take the KTM 1190. If I wanted something that had gut-wrenching, shoulder-pulling speed, I'd take the Multistrada. And if I wanted a long-distance shaft drive bike, I'd probably still go with the GS or maybe even the Super Tenere. Would there be room for this in my garage? Nope.
So that's pretty clear and pretty straight. I wasn't a huge fan of the old model Explorer, but now it's a whole new ball game. And when you look at Triumph's website, there's two things that really stand out: the electronics and the bodywork and styling.
We've got the top of the range XCA model today. There are more gadgets and whiz-bangs on this model than on any other production adventure bike. Cruise control, electronically adjustable windscreen, heated grips and seats, traction control and cornering optimised ABS really don't feel that new anymore, and they are all here, as standard on this model. But what sets this beast apart from the pack is the electronics package that sits right at the very heart of it. Triumph have developed an IMU with Continental. That's an inertial measuring unit that manages cornering ABS, traction control and the electronic suspension actively on the versions that come so equipped. This is combined with engine management via throttle-by-wire that provides very different engine characteristics in different modes. You will need a few evenings locked into reading the manual, because this bike has 9 off-road and 9 on-road suspension presets, ranging from comfort on the soft end to sport on the firm end. And each preset was specifically calibrated, not simply a fixed percentage change to the next relative setting. Most importantly, the semi-active suspension system adjusts the suspension whilst you're riding. It's really jolly clever stuff. But wait, there is more. There's electronic settings for engine output, throttle response, traction control and the ABS. So once you've memorised the manual, you could in reality choose from almost hundreds of combinations. But for most of us, we'll just use the modes: sport, ride, rain, off-road and rider.
Triumph were so keen for us to test the new model Explorer that they invited us to the Triumph Adventure Centre at TrailQuest, where Richard and I are going to take the XCA model out for a spin.
The old Explorer always felt rather like the lardy older brother to the 800 Tiger. And where the Tiger had fallen down the side of the handsome tree, the Explorer had sadly fallen out of the ugly bush. But that has changed. Triumph have also been pretty cute with the models. You can spend a very wallet-friendly $12,200 for the XC base model, and you'll still get traction control and ABS as standard. The XCA model here is $15,800, and there's 2 variants in between. You'll also be able to choose between a similar range on the road-oriented XR range. It's a good move, clear and simple range options. The proof of the pudding is always in the tasting the course. The bike is still unmistakably a big heavy machine, but once you're going, it is truly a joy to ride. It's almost a given for me that this will be a smooth continent crossing ride on A roads and motorways, making the best use of the 137 horsepower and that sweet 3-cylinder engine. So we spent most of the day riding the trails. The standard tyres are fine for gravel and light trail riding, but you will need something a little knobblier to deal with really muddy conditions. However, I was having a hoot. The bike flattered my riding style and skills, and I really wanted more. We took the bike through a good range of riding conditions: gravel, narrow trails, open fields and slippery mud. We even managed to throw in some hail and some snow for good measure. I found the more I rode it, the more I enjoyed riding it, and I really didn't want to stop.
Before I get into the final review of the bike, I've just got to mention today's weather. I've never seen cloud, rain, sleet, snow and sunshine all in such a short space of time, but it's made for interesting riding. So, the Triumph Explorer. Now remember, this is the XCA model, so this is the top of the range with all the whiz bangs and the gadgetry. When I reviewed this bike last season, I couldn't work out where it fitted. I just couldn't see where against the competition. And I think I've got it sus this time. This bike is the cleverest one out there. It's got modes within modes. Obviously it's got your road, it's got off-road, it's got rain, it's got rider, but then it's got modes within those. And the electronic package and the semi-active suspension all combined together, all talking together, actually make it a delight to ride. And it doesn't matter whether it's on the road or off the road. And actually combined with this new styling, which I think harks to the 800, which is a good thing, makes it feel slimmer, makes it look better, and makes it feel, importantly, slimmer off-road, even though it's still the heaviest bike in the class. And where does it sit against the competition? Well, if you want an off-road bike, an off-road adventure bike, you're going to, I think, go for the KTM or the Honda, the Africa Twin. So to me, this is absolutely banging on the doors now of the BMW, because if you want a shaft drive bike, that's your two choices. And I gotta say, I think I'd struggle to choose between the two of them. Of course, would I have one of these in my garage? If I was choosing a shaft drive bike, I'd have a really tough choice between that and the BMW.
What's your name?
So a slightly odd end to the bike review, but if you want to find out why I was having an AK-47 pointed at my face, check in later in the show. Now it's time for Slimbo's superlative suggestions.
Hello chaps, welcome to Slimbo's Superlative Suggestions. This month you're going to need one of these, and a pair of boots. How to waterproof your boots when they're letting in the rain and all the gubbins that gets your feet wet. It's cold water, and I tell you what, this will work wonderful, but be careful. If you've got breathable boots, this stuff here will actually fill in the pores. So if you're like me, old school, don't have special breathable boots but they leak, this is a good one for you. First of all, you get the wax, you get the boot. Now this is just a tea light candle, nothing special. Take the wick out of it, and all you're going to do on this material, now these are great, these are British military desert boots, and you rub the wax all over. Now with these, they're not waterproof, they're water resistant, they're breathable, but I don't wear them for breathability, I wear them for comfort. Now just to give you an idea, I'll rub that in there, and then we get the hairdryer, Excuse the noise. What we're going to do is warm up the wax. Now that wax is now melted and now sunken into there. Give it a couple of moments to dry. It's waterproof, you can't go wrong. Okay, so here's the acid test. This is, look at that, straight off. This is also not treated, but this is how good this leather is anyway, but you can see where it's soaking in. Yeah? Right, well, there you have it. Nice waterproof boots, but don't forget, if you have got breathable boots, you're going to fill the pores up. So I don't want anybody moaning to me when your boots don't breathe anymore. If you want dry feet, that's what you do. If your boots are breathable and they're not breathing and not keeping you dry, I suggest use the wax anyway, because they're old and they'll be knackered. That's all I've got to say, really. If you have got those good boots, I would suggest go and buy a proper product that'll actually waterproof and allow them to breathe. But this is for really old school boys like me who can't afford that stuff. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that one, and we'll catch you next time. Don't forget, if you've got a suggestion, let us know, and if we use it, we'll send you a sticker. See you next time. Take care.
So a fascinating adventure waterproofing hack from Slimbo. Now it's time for a break and we'll see you in a few minutes.
And I'm Austin Vince. And we're here to invite you to the next Adventure Travel Film Festival. Now, if you're watching Adventure Bike TV, which you are, then you won't need telling that whizzing around the world on a motorbike is great fun. Is a delightful film from 1957. Tartarini and Minetti were just a pair of regular post-war tutti-frutti Italian teens. Growing up in Mussolini's Italy, they realised that actually there were plenty of roads that lead away from Rome. So with 175cc nestling in their pepperoni groins, they set off into the unknown. Once you've seen this film, you'll be hitting the autostrada, pronto. This year we've got two fabulous speakers. The cover star of this year's brochure is Elspeth Beard. In 1982, aged just 22 years old, she hit the road and became the first British woman to ride around the world. And if that weren't enough, we've got Mr. Nathan Millwood, sometime presenter on this channel, who rode a fabulous 110cc postie bike from Sydney back to London. Our Starlight screening on the Saturday night will be Mondo Enduro. Mondo Enduro started and 14 months later finished at Mill Hill School, so it's quite a poignant anniversary for us. We hope that you'll be able to come along and share what for us should all be a truly special night. There's 15 films, 4 speakers, loads of workshops and outdoor action, with all of us camping together in the 185-acre spectacular parkland site at Mill Hill School.
Welcome back from the break. And now it's time for a little bit of globe-trotting with Austin Vince in the second episode of his regular feature, Austin Rover.
This show's Austin Rover. I've been parachuted into Egypt, in the Sinai Peninsula, and I'm on the search for the ultimate desert motorcycle. In Egypt, they don't ride adventure bikes. They ride bikes, like the 150cc Chinese-built Halawa. Of course, when I met Mohammed and his nephew, I had to ask about his favourite adventure tyre.
No problem. ممكن بيعمل كده زي اللي ورا حلو. This no good.
This is not in England. Nobody would take these tyres onto the sand. I would be too scared.
Yeah. Strong in the sand. Big have nice not go.
How do we start the bike? Oh, okay. But the plastic, okay.
Okay.
Sealed.
Yeah.
Very strong.
No, okay. Close it. Okay.
Open?
Yeah. No.
Closed?
No.
Yeah. I understand.
Look, have a radio.
Left music.
This and the dry, not come inside. No? Look. Not.
Mohammed of the closed canyon. This is a pimped out bike, Mohammed. Engine okay?
Yeah.
Strong?
Strong, yeah.
150 ها 150
150.
Yeah.
Great.
This is the pump huh?
The pump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the road. This.
I began to realize that Mohammed wasn't scared of the desert. And with a side stand pad made from an old shoe, handy telephone pouch, adventure riding boots, Toyota badge on a spring, and road legal wing mirror, I had only one thing to say to him. You're a very big man. Very big man.
Very big man.
Yeah.
Small big.
Okay, Said.
Okay, sure.
Shukran. Okay.
Easy.
Inshallah. Yalla Said.
Bye.
Now that's adventure motorcycling.
Okay, so if ever proof was needed that any bike could be an adventure bike, well, you've just seen it. Now it's time for Under the Visor, and if you haven't heard of this month's guest, well, you probably should have.
James Cargo Motorcycle Shipping sponsors Under the Visor.
So my name's Jennifer Huntley. I'm a dental hygienist and I live in Wales, where I also work as an off-road skills instructor for BMW. It was out of necessity, really. I just living in a rough area of London, and I decided I just wanted to be anonymous and get through the traffic and just get to work reliably every day. It was funny, I bought a bike in bits from an old bike shop down the road, and I just liked the shape of it, the look of it. And when I had it put together, I realized, you know, I had an R80 GS, and people would stop me on my way to work and say, "Where are you going?" And I'd say, "I'm going to work." And somebody told me, "Well, this is the bike to go around the world on. That's why people are asking you." And they said, "You've got to watch the Dakar. You've got to see all these films." And as soon as I saw these things, I just realized this is, you know, where I want to get to. Is I just want to be traveling on my bike and doing competition. The biggest trip I did, it wouldn't seem like a big trip to most people, but for me it was. It was New Zealand for 3 months on my own. And it was because I was scared of the dark. I was scared of being on my own. And I decided I was going to buy a bike and ride around New Zealand on my own, and I was determined to do it. And it was the worst trip ever. And I realized that actually I turned up in the middle of an El Nino. Everybody had left New Zealand, and I was the only person on a bike in New Zealand. I saw one other bike in 3 months, and I crashed in front of him. Oh, it was the worst trip ever. And I realized that actually people don't travel alone. When you get somewhere, you meet people. And it was just my circumstances meant that there was no other people traveling on bikes because of the weather, and I stuck with it. And actually, I got back to London and I went to collect my R80 GS. And I made a decision that if it started, I would carry on riding. But if my bike didn't start after 3 months of sitting, I was going to sell it and not ride again. It was that harrowing of an experience. And it started. Thank God for that. It started. So this year was the first year that there was an all-female team at the GS Trophy. And I applied for that position. And they chose 10 women to fly to South Africa to compete against each other for a place in the 3-lady team. The competition was good. I mean, we got to South Africa. I think I went very confident because I ride an adventure, normally teaching on an adventure. I feel very comfortable on the bike. I had watched everybody's videos and I thought I had it in the bag. I really did, went confident. And once I arrived there, I mean, it was as soon as the plane landed and we met the girls and we met each other, I started feeling these butterflies in my stomach that I have never felt before. And the nerves I had during this competition, and I really think it was the first competition that I really truly wanted. I really wanted to do this. And my nerves just got the best of me, and each day that went past, I got worse and worse. I got 3rd on day 1, 4th on day 2, and then 6th on day 3, and which put me in an overall position of 4th place. And it was absolutely gutting, but I have to say I learned a lot. And Africa, riding in Africa was just something else. So this year was the first year that there was an all-female team at the GS Trophy. And I applied for that position. And they chose 10 women to fly to South Africa to compete against each other for a place in the 3-lady team. The competition was good. I mean, we got to South Africa. I think I went very confident because I ride an adventure, normally teaching on an adventure. I feel very comfortable on the bike. I had watched everybody's videos and I thought I had it in the bag. I really did, went confident. And once I arrived there, I mean, it was as soon as the plane landed and we met the girls and we met each other, I started feeling these butterflies in my stomach that I have never felt before. And the nerves I had during this competition, and I really think it was the first competition that I really truly wanted. I really wanted to do this. And my nerves just got the best of me, and each day that went past, I got worse and worse. I got 3rd on day 1, 4th on day 2, and then 6th on day 3, and which put me in an overall position of 4th place. And It was absolutely gutting, but I have to say I learned a lot. And Africa, riding in Africa was just something else.
James Cargo Motorcycle Shipping sponsors Under the Visor.
Don't forget that you can catch the full-length versions of Under the Visor on our YouTube page. And now it's time for Top Tech.
Hi, I'm Ed from Cotswold Outdoor, and today we're going to be talking about the Thermarest Slacker Hammock. Stay tuned to see how you can get your hands on one. So the Slacker Hammock is designed for ultralight camping, and most importantly, it keeps you off the floor. A couple of great features about the Thermarest Slacker Hammock. It's really handy stuffing into its own pocket, but it's also compatible with fly nets and rain covers. So let's open it up and have a look. Unclipping at the back, opens up out of its own pocket, spreading out. At each end you'll have two carabiners which can be clipped on to your mounting system, and this nice stretchy polyester fabric feels great against my skin. But we can't really test it out in here, so we're going to head outside and give it a go. So we're out now and I'm ready to try out the Thermarest Slacker Hammock. The first thing I needed to do was find two trees, which I've done, and then I've selected two bits of cord to go around them. If you were staying for a longer period of time, you might want a thicker bit of cord or material to protect the trees. So unclipping it from its packet, pull it out, get the first carabiner and the second carabiner. Clip onto the tree, and then the second one onto the tree. As easy as that. And that's our frame of our hammock set up and ready to go. Next bit's easy enough, just test it out. And as always on Top Tech, we're giving you the chance to win this hammock. All you need to do is answer one simple question. What is this hammock made of? Is it A, carbon fibre, B, cotton, C, polyester, or D, steel? All you need to do is head over to www.adventurebiketv.com and hit the competition link to enter. Thanks a lot, and see you again.
Now it's time for a break. When we come back, there'll be a special little film made by our very good friend Tom Woodrow, the producer of Adventure Bike TV, and find out what the hell is going on with that AK-47. This month's travel journal is something a little bit different and a little bit special. Tom, the producer, has made a film to answer the question, what is an adventure? And we've been joined by some of our great friends from the adventure motorcycling world to help us narrate it.
Adventures. They're all different. So how do you tell if you've really had one? Well, ask yourself these questions.
Let's start at the extreme end. Ask yourself, did you think you were going to die at any point? If you did you actually die? If yes, then that really sucks, but it would have been an adventure. If no, then it was an adventure and you lived. Now you probably have a great story to tell and you can have some more adventures. Woohoo!
If you didn't think you were going to die, did you get any injuries? If yes, it was an adventure, and I really hope you get better soon.
No injuries? That's good. But did you still push yourself physically? If you did, then it was an adventure.
If you didn't push yourself physically, that's okay. Maybe you pushed yourself mentally. It was definitely an adventure if you did.
Okay, so not every adventure needs to push you mentally. Ask yourself this. Did you see an animal that you would normally only see in a zoo? Yes? One more quick question. Did you visit a zoo? If you didn't, then awesome. That's definitely an adventure. What did you see? Was it a bear? I bet it was a bear. Or a baboon. I reckon a bear or a baboon.
Maybe you didn't see any wild animals, or you just visited a zoo. Cheater. Then the next question is, did you get lost? Don't worry, it's quite common to get lost on an adventure.
Don't worry though, not getting lost can just mean you have great navigational skills. Did you stop and talk to someone you had never met before though? Well done if you did, because that means it was an adventure. Plus, you made a new friend.
Meeting new people isn't always possible. I'm sure Edmund Hillary didn't meet anyone new on the way up Everest, but I'm sure at times he thought about turning back. At any point, did you want to turn back? Don't worry, we all want to turn back at some time. It's all part of the adventure, but that does make it an adventure.
If you never wanted to turn back, you are a brave soul. Did you ever get tired or dirty though? Yep. Even that simple criteria makes it an adventure. Nice one.
None of the above applies? Ask yourself this one question. At any point, were you even slightly out of your comfort zone? I bet you were. And that, of course, makes it an adventure.
However, if you didn't, then it probably wasn't an adventure. But you know what? Don't listen to us.
Adventure is a very individual thing. It can be anything you want it to be. It doesn't matter if it's for a day or 5 years. If it's at home or abroad, or on your own, or with friends, it can be anything. The important thing is to find your own adventure and relish every second of it.
So we are pretty sure that film's going to throw up quite a few questions and quite a lot of debate. And if you want to join in, please do so on our Facebook page. Now, why on earth was I getting an AK-47 pointed in my face?
What's your name? Where you from? Come on, where's the wallet? Where is it?
I don't have any money.
Take your helmet off, I can't hear. Come on, come on. Quickly. What's your name? Where are you from? What are you doing here? Come on.
Want to ride with trail?
Where's your wallet?
I haven't got any money.
Why not?
Not carrying any.
I'll have your bike then. Where are you going?
The fact that even I'm in the middle of the British countryside, and I know I'm at Trail Quest, but my adrenaline, I know it wasn't real, but my adrenaline was absolutely pumping all the way through me, and I was feeling shaky, even though you know it's not real. So it's a really, really good practice, because as Richard said, it's very, very unlikely to happen, but the fact you've been through it once, even if it's in a pretend scenario, is invaluable. Thank you for that. That was more. That was nerve-wracking. I'm not quite sure how to say that. You made the point very succinctly there by pointing a gun at my face that expedition training is far more than just learning to ride a bike. And it's something that you very, very much focus on, that training for an expedition is more about far more than just riding the bike. So just tell me a little bit more about what you kind of cover when you're doing expedition training.
Okay, for us, expedition training is preparing for the unexpected. So it's not just simply about being a good bike rider and competent off-road, but it's also having the ability to fix your bike if something goes wrong with it. It's having the ability to fix one of your team members or yourself if you have an accident. In other words, are you good and competent at first aid? It's about preparing you for navigation, so that if your sat-nav goes down, can you still navigate back to an area of safety? It's about covering security issues, which, although we like to pretend things will never happen to us, things do happen. And if you've never been through a scenario and experienced it, it can be quite frightening. And we're very clear here that every scenario we give to our clients is something which has actually happened either to one of us on one of our expeditions, or has been reported back to us by some of our clients who've been all around the world on some very challenging expeditions. So nothing here is designed to just be alarmist and frightening. It's designed to be pure, practical, helpful information which will make your trip that much more interesting and safe. And in fact, it's the large groups who often need the training even more, because what you have there is different personalities reacting in different ways, and that can sometimes escalate the problem and make it 10 times worse. There are some basic skills which are often lacking. One is just preparation and planning for the expedition in detail. People tend to sort of rush through it and don't think things through. So we often find that people get their time and distance planning wildly wrong. They do their distance based on road speeds, and they forget that off-roading you're going to be a lot slower, so that can take your trip taking longer. We find their first aid skills are negligible. So they can't look after each other if they have a problem. We find their mechanical skills are often negligible, and we have countless clients here who don't know how to repair a puncture on a motorbike, or how to, even in one case, change a brake lever.
So I can say from personal experience that preparing for an expedition and a bike trip is far more than just learning to ride the bike off-road. It's about getting all the preparation done in as much detail as possible, getting the paperwork right, so you can avoid issues happening, but also, if they do happen, you know how to deal with them. Right, well that's the end of the show, and it's the end of Season 2. Of course, Season 3 will start on the 1st of June, so we'll see you then.